Coach, 76-74 decision. Tight game. Just a heavyweight bout the first half, back and forth. The deficit grew to 9. Grinded out the deficit. Theus came up with some big shots when we took the lead, and then finally at the end, missed the free throws much of the day, but he came through with the big ones at the end. So, opening statement from you, and then we can take questions.
Yeah, just first, the Wofford program, this team, and traditionally being from that area, I have so much respect for. And I think as this season goes along, they'll be recognized as one of the better mid-majors in the country. And it was, could tell not a lot of rest. And second game in 2 days, both teams are a little banged up, and it took a while to get going. I am extremely proud of our guys because there were times that we could have. We're down 9. Things weren't going well, and those guys came to the huddle and came together, cut it back. We came to another huddle, and they figured out we were only down 6 at that point, and they just kept grinding it out. We did a pretty good job. We had 2 metrics that we really wanted to emphasize. They make a lot of catch and shoot threes. They only got 24 off and only made 6, so that was a huge stat for us. And then the rebounding, they get a lot of those threes off of offensive rebounds, and you could tell as the game flowed along when we had a rebounding lead and they were cutting it in, get down to 3, 4, 3, and they were getting all the momentum. And then when we would get stops and expand that to, I think we ended up at 9, and we hovered around 9. But when we were getting stops and rebounds, we were able to cut into that lead. But it was a test of our will because it was a frustrating game as far as just missing the free throws, missing open threes, missing little bunnies at the rim. But perseverance, leadership. We made a bunch of plays down the stretch. Theus was huge. And J. Michael on the glass. I think he got the last 3 or 4 defensive rebounds, which are huge.
Questions for Coach or the players?
Really doing this?
How's that?
Bart, final 20.
Speak up a little bit.
Put your hands in the air. Final 20 points for you guys scored by seniors last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want from your leaders, correct? That's what you're expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if people, just the general fans that were watching, here and online, realize what they were seeing. But it was not only on our side, but it was on their side too. 2 and 10 for them. I've been around a long time and played a lot of college basketball. So there were just haymakers back and forth. And I'm pretty happy to have those guys and that they'll step up in those situations.
Theus, can you talk a little bit about that? Just, taking over. Number one, you're the point guard, but number 2, as a senior, you must live for those moments and look forward to the opportunities to kind of take over when you can, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm just trying to make plays, as the point guard throughout the game. I got to figure out when to make plays, when to get guys the ball, when to score the ball, And towards the end of the game, I kind of had it going, so we kind of went my way, and I made a play, so.
Coach, how's it feel different having more of a true point guard like Theus? The last couple of years you've been missing that. How does the offense flow better because of someone like him?
Right, it makes all the difference. Not only how Theus can run the team, but also how he and I can communicate together. A lot of times he'll come off and he's already seen what I'm about to tell the team, and he's talking to them, and he's very vocal. It makes my job a whole lot easier. I can feel us progressing as a team, mostly because we can grow, because the knowledge is being spread, and like the last play, we had been running one play and we ran just a little twist on that play, a little wrinkle, and we did it on the fly, and that was something we never could have done in years past. And Theus got it and made a play.
Bart, if you go back to the Marquette days, I know you probably remember there was at least one team that had big-time struggles shooting free throws, and Buzz was always like, you got to be tough. You got to step up to the line and make them. And you guys didn't devote a lot of time in practice to shooting them. From what I remember, it was on the guys. So obviously you hit the ones late here to kind of salt it away, but not a great game otherwise at the line. How do you view free throws, and like how do you guys approach them? Do you spend a ton of time in practice doing it? Is it kind of a cyclical thing? Just wondering your take on that.
Yeah, more similar to Buzz. I've been doing this a long time, so I've tried everything you can possibly imagine, shooting a lot of them, shooting very few of them. I think telling them, hey, you gotta get this right on your own. The only thing that I've ever had that we'll put them on the line and have a one-on-one. If they miss, the team runs, so it puts some pressure on you. But it is it's one of those things where if you really shine a spotlight on it and you have them relentlessly shooting over and over in the gym in a stale environment, sometimes you make it worse. So yeah, they got to be tough enough to step up and make their free throws. And if they didn't make them, get your tail in the gym.
What's the latest with Faison?
He's, he won't see the. We know it's broken, so he'll see the doctor on Monday. They've got to do X-ray and MRI. We're hoping that it's a clean break. Bones heal pretty fast in the finger. It's on his non-shooting hand. So at this point, we're going to lose him for a while, but we're optimistic that we'll get him back.
Is it pinky, ring finger?
Ring finger. Yeah.
For you, Jamichael, then, like, how do you see that, like, as an opportunity for you to maybe step up, get yourself established with this team? I mean, you almost had another double-double today.
I just feel like it's a big opportunity for me. I got to step up and do my job I already do my job, rebound, but got to rebound more, maybe 20 rebounds a game. But, we definitely going to need them, though. But we got depth. I got to go to the 5, small ball, We got it, though.
Bart, kind of along those lines, it was only a few weeks ago we were talking about how are you going to get all these, so many minutes for so many guys on the team, and all of a sudden it's like a 7-man rotation very quickly, injuries and other issues. How do you view that? Do you feel good about what you do have and the guys that you're going to be leaning on most are ready for the challenge?
Yeah, they are, and we've got some guys that are going to get opportunities that maybe wouldn't have seen as much opportunity, and I think we can expand that to 9. I think we've got 9, really good, healthy players, and that's enough. It's maybe harder. It's harder in a 3-game scenario, but sometimes you get 9 and chemistry. People understand their roles, and their roles expand. They're a little happier. You get a little more production. So it's not always a bad thing. But if we didn't have that depth to start, we might be in a whole different situation.
Coach, one of the big differences between yesterday's game and today was the tempo. I mean, you guys got out in transition yesterday. I think 33 fast break points. You guys, thrive on that. Today, Wofford, they play a lot slower tempo. They kept you out of fast break. Talk about how you guys adjusted to that, and also how you thought you executed in the half-court offense.
Yeah, I thought there were times that we were stagnant. Part of that I did to us in the first half. I have to figure out when we do go with kind of a different lineup than our starting lineup. I tried to go to more of a ball screen offense, and it stagnated us in the first half. But overall, our percentages weren't great, but we got to the free throw line 33 times, and so we missed 15 free throws. So if we make a few of those, we're up over 80 points for the game. I want to play fast, but I think the hallmark of a good team is you can adjust. It's going to be really difficult with a team like Wofford, who's going to grind you out for 20, 25 seconds of possession, to really make it like this. And we pressed them a little bit, tried to check and see if we could get them to turn it over, but senior guards out there, they're pretty savvy. So it was a fine line between pushing that tempo and wearing our own guys out.
You talk about the senior guard savvy. I think AJ, he picked up his 4th foul with 16:41 left in the game. I know he came to the bench for a little bit, but you trusted him. You put him back out there pretty quickly thereafter, and he was able to stay in there the rest of the way. That's an example of a guy that just knows, like, got to be careful. You got to watch the touch fouls. You're important enough that you got to stay on the court the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, he is smart. He fouls when he gets tired, so we watched to make sure he didn't get tired. But we had a bunch of timeouts through that last stretch. But he came back in. I think he got that 4th foul. I don't know what the time on that was, but 12 minutes or 11 minutes. And so we took him out, but then they expanded the lead, so I kind of felt like I had to put him back in. And he helped us chip away, get it back to, I think we were down 2, or we had tied it up. So we took him back out. And he's back there on the bike going, I could go back in, telling me he's ready. But we were able to sustain that and keep that little lead until I think it was 4.5 minutes. And then I do trust him. He's going to stay in there.
Coach Lundy, I have a question. So earlier in the game, it seemed like Wofford were getting a lot of easy baskets around the rim. For example, like some of their guards were attacking the rim, finishing at the hoop, or just their guards penetrating and dumping it off to the bigs. With Theus unavailable for today's game, did that potentially play a factor, or was it just a little bit miscommunication on the defensive end?
No, I don't think it was either. Faison would have helped us for sure, but our game plan really was to take away the threes. So we stuck to the shooters, and a lot of those actions were 2-on-2, and they did hurt us a little bit. We overhelped with our 5 a little bit, and they got those dump-offs. But that's kind of how we thought we had to guard them, and give up some 2s, but not give up the 3s, because they're the best in the country. They assist on 90% of their 3-point shots. So if you overhelp and you collapse on those guys and they pitch them, then you're in real trouble. And 3 is always more than 2.
Yes, sir.